Yo, everybody, the wait is over. We are here. I am Alpha.
I'm Omega.
We are Gray Matter. A lot of people have been waiting for this. Today's topic, what we're going to touch on today, is the racism topic. We're going to cover a couple of different things in that area. And, at the end, you guys can comment, and share. Pretty much like an open forum. We can have conversate back and forth on this because there's stuff that's going on in our world and in our communities that we feel that people aren't seeing the big picture.
Now, when it comes to the comments and the sharing and all that other crap, I don't want it to start a huge racial dispute because that's not what this is about whatsoever. It's simply about trying to be more logical in the idea of what's going on. Don't just go all emotions, balls to the wall. It's got to be from a logical standpoint. You have to have some form of thought process between the Confederate flag being torn down and all these shootings and just the riots in Baltimore. I mean, just if nothing else, the most recent shooting in was it Charleston? Yeah, in Charleston. The fact that the church is actually holding prayers for that kid, because obviously he was a screwed up kid, and it wasn't a matter of racism. The kid was screwed up. And it's not something. Racism isn't just natural; it's taught. So it's not racism; it's ignorance, and that's all it's ever been. So I don't want to start this huge racial war on Facebook or on YouTube or anywhere else for that matter. I want you guys to just have an open mind, be able to dispute and argue, in a peaceful manner. No slurs, none of that crap. You guys are all smarter than that. Let's prove it for once. All right, let's go.
All right. So what I'm going to touch on right now is I'm going to read a little passage. It's from the 60s. This man wrote it back in the 60s, and it still rings true today. So I want you to hear it and heed the words that are in this speech. It says, "This note was a promise that all men, yes, black men as well as white men, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is obvious today that America has defaulted on that promissory note." And then he goes on to say, "But there is something that I must say to my people who stand on the warm threshold which leads into the palace of justice. In the process of gaining our rightful place, we must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative protests to degenerate into physical violence again and again. We must rise to the majestic heights of meeting physical force with soul force." That was written in 1963 by the late, great Dr. Martin Luther King. And you can't tell me that does not pertain to today, what is happening today, to everything that's going on. We have went and divided our country into two. Congress didn't do this. Obama didn't do this. We did this. We created this problem. And
now, don't think for 1 second though that we approve of Congress, we approve of Obama. We're not defending them whatsoever. We're just trying to simply show the fact that we're dividing ourselves. And if anybody knows anything, the easiest way to overthrow a people, especially a free people, is to have them divided amongst themselves. And everything in media and everything else that's going on today, I mean, just think about all the spins that's being put on everything. I mean, Baltimore alone, it took 2 weeks for them to finally show you who the cops were. And 3 of the cops that were charged with Freddie Gray's murder were black. I mean, some of them were darker than him. So it's not, we're doing it to ourselves. We're dividing ourselves. And the people that we see fit to put in charge, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, a lot of the people on, we still got the Grand Wizard, you know what I'm saying? There's double lightning bolts everywhere. But what I'm saying is that we're dividing ourselves. We're making it to where we just, I want to dance, I want to rap, but I'm not allowed to. You know what I'm saying? Like we're dividing ourselves. There's things that we say that the other culture can't do. We're saying that there's other things that the culture doesn't understand. We do it to ourselves. And all the hatred and everything else, we keep passing on. Like, the only thing that we are inheriting in this world is the ash, because we're going to end up burning it to the ground ourselves. True racism has absolutely nothing to do with the color of your skin. It really doesn't. You can go back in any point of America's history, and you'll see that white people had other white people doing stupid shit for them. Like, racism transcends color. It's never been about race. If you think it's always been race, you're wrong. It's a class issue. It's always been a class issue. Always. And it will always continue to be a class issue. I'm telling you, man, they want us all to be drones. And the easiest way to control your drones is to have them fighting against each other. Because the minute they unify, all of a sudden an army arises. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, reason why they try to split everything. Why they want everything separated. You mean to tell me that because young white man, South Carolina, because he killed 9 innocent people, and because they found a picture of it on his Facebook of him holding the Confederate flag, now every Confederate flag needs to be taken down. We forget. We don't know our own history as to what that flag actually represents. That flag represents Southern pride, not racism, Southern pride, because of those states of what happened back in the day. Now, the only reason it stands as a symbol of racism is because we let it. We sit there and we let it. We give it that power. We speak that into existence. We give it power where it should have none. But it's time to wake up. It's time to realize that it's messed up around here, and it's our fault. This is our own mess that we're making and expecting someone else to come in and clean it up. And the people we're looking to are doing nothing but adding fuel to the fire. Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, go sit the hell down. Go sit the hell down. You are not a standard for the people anymore. I don't see y'all out there doing anything. I don't see y'all out there in these communities being active, watching these young black men and women out there destroying each other, destroying the cities that other folks have went and built, spilt blood to build, took time to build.
Their own community, probably their own relatives. I mean, what happened in Baltimore was just, and anytime you try to make a logical argument to it, you'll get the same thing in response from the ignorant. You don't understand. You don't understand. You're not here. You don't know what it's about. You don't understand. You're right. I don't understand. I don't understand how somebody can go and deface their own property, can ruin their own town, can march in groups against their own fucking people, man. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, Freddie Gray, it is tragic what happened to him. When police take you in, it should never end with you being dead. Ever. It doesn't, I mean, that's not okay. However, it shouldn't start with you selling drugs on a corner either. And that seems to remain the same stance for everything that has happened. You look at all of it, something led up to the point where there was that interaction. For every action, there is a positive and negative reaction. I mean, that's just how it works. Everybody knows that. It's common sense. So if you're out there selling drugs, you're eventually going to have a run in with the police. If you ever run in with the wrong police, you're probably going to fucking die. It shouldn't be that way. You shouldn't just be wiped off the face of the earth. However, you shouldn't be doing the stupid shit in the fucking first place. And anybody who sits there and goes, well, you don't know what it's like in these neighborhoods. You don't know what it was like for us growing up. You don't know what it is. I don't want to fucking hear it. You have no idea the shit that anybody around you's been through. You don't know. You don't know what they've come up from. You don't know any of that shit. So who are you to sit back and say anything about it? The one thing you can do is accept the fact that destroying your own property, destroying your own, I mean, you're the only one that has to wake up the next morning and live there, motherfucker. What are you doing? You're the one that has to go down. You're the one that eventually has to go buy groceries at the store that you just burnt down. What are you doing? That doesn't make any sense. You're the one that eventually has to send your child to the school down the street that's probably in flames still. That doesn't make any sense because you're angry. So you're just going to torch it all down because you're angry? You know what that sounds like? That sounds like Vikings. And those motherfuckers were really white.
It's our own people holding ourselves back at the end of the day. When it comes down to this, we want something to be done, but instead of going about it the right way, We had a man in 1963 give us a roadmap to how to approach these situations, laid it out for us step by step on what we needed to do to conquer these issues. And yet, instead of us going about it the right way, protesting in peace and doing peaceful marches and going out into the other black, low poverty neighborhood communities and talking that good stuff, y'all decide to go downtown, burn down the mom and pop shop that was all that grandma had back in the day because you're mad and you're angry. I understand that. If you want to be mad, be mad. You want to be angry. You should be. You have every right to be. But to go out and to destroy your own city is senseless.
And I understand the fact that we're about a month too late on that topic, and hindsight's always 20/20, and I grasp that.
Not a month too late. This 1963, the same stuff happened. Even worse happened back then in 1963.
Yeah.
And it still hasn't been solved. Because we haven't solved it. We haven't stepped up and said, you know what, we're going to put it into this the correct way.
It's become a crutch, guys, across the board for everybody. It's become a crutch for everybody. Everybody goes back to civil rights, and civil rights no longer just means black or white. You guys are getting that, right? Like Bruce Jenner is now a woman because of civil rights. It has a right to grow tits, get a facelift, but it's keeping his dick, and nobody cares about that. See, that's I don't understand. I don't understand this what am I looking for here? Double standard. Okay, so Bruce Jenner keeps his hang down, by the way. Like that thing hangs about as low as his gold medals from the Olympics, all right? He holds on to that.
Whoa.
Time out. No. He gets the cover of Vanity Fair because he grew some tits, right? And he's a hero. But what the hell is that chick's name, man? I can't remember her name. I feel like
Rachel Dolezal.
Boom, that one. But she decides to just kind of cross over a little bit. I mean, she got a really good tan and curled her hair a little bit. She got a perm and a good tan. And she is just the face of the fucking devil because she's being something that she's not. What in the hell? So if you mean to tell me that if you plan... Wait, are we supposed to be keeping it PG?
Yes.
Fuck. All right. Okay, all right. So if you decide...
Let me... Okay,
thank you.
I got this. So basically, what Michael Hart is trying to say is we blackballed Rachel Dolezal because she became someone who she thought she was.
Right.
But we put Bruce Jenner on the cover of Vanity Fair,
right.
ESPN magazines, right. Talked about his bravery,
right.
And you know, probably gonna be voted Person of the Year.
I mean,
because he became someone who he thought he was.
Dude's getting his own damn reality show. Nobody even heard of that. You said Rachel?
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody even heard of Rachel. Nobody even heard of her until recently. I mean, we had no fun. I mean, unless you lived in Spokane, Washington, you had no idea. And who the fuck lives in Spokane, Washington?
Doesn't matter. Bruce Jenner became a woman because he wanted to, and it only benefited him.
Mm-hmm. And look, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. All right. That's a whole other topic. I don't want you to think that we're bashing. You know what I mean? If you got bolt-ons and a hang down, that's all you. Do you. Go out there, man. I love Birdcage is one of my favorite movies. All right, but what we're saying is the double standard. He decides to become something that he isn't, and he's awarded. I mean, the dude's going to have a reality show about it. But she does it, and she's the leader of, I don't want to call it an activist group, but it's
a civil rights group.
Yeah.
The NAACP is a civil rights group, not only for black folks, but for other human rights. So this woman was a leader of one of those chapters.
Yeah.
To where she has dedicated her life to fighting for other folks' rights. As to where Bruce Jenner dedicated his life to nothing. He lied. Now, we'll save that for another time.
Yeah. So now, because we're trying to stay on the black and white thing for right now. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of our motif. But check it out. So, just for the open forum, just for you guys to discuss, I want to know what you think. Now, this is my opinion, okay? Obviously, this whole thing is just our opinion, but I think that the reason she's getting as much backlash as she is because when she actually was interviewed about it, she said, well, I listened to the whole interview. If you have a chance, go check it out. I mean, fucking Google anything. Sorry. But, so, she denied that her parents might even be her real parents. It was the craziest thing in the world. Her parents, I mean, they make me look tan. They're pale as hell.
That's hard to do.
I know. But they're sitting there going, no, she's her daughter, blah, 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 birth certificate. I mean, everything. And she's denying it, like, hands down. She's like, no, I was born black, I'm black, da, da, da. See, I don't know why that is. I don't know to the extent. I don't know her past. I barely know her present. Absolutely no idea what the hell's going to happen with her future. But I think it's the fact that she's denying it so passionately. I mean, there's so much conviction in her voice when she says that she was born black and they're not her real parents. I mean, she's pretty believable when you hear her. But she's avoiding the main subject, though. Because she doesn't want to be a three-ring circus. She's trying to get out of the spotlight as soon as possible because she actually believes in her movement. Whereas you have, Caitlyn Jenner, and it just seems like the minute you talk about who you're banging or who you want to bang, everybody gets nervous. But you talk about race, everybody's on that shit. So this is your chance to be on it, man. I want to hear what you think. This is the first show. Obviously, we're going to have to work out some bugs, kind of get more of a, more bullet point type of thing, try to be a little bit more organized. And I'll go through some speech therapy and try to work on my profanities. Or not. Fuck it. So, but I really do want to know what you guys think. Hopefully this came out the way that we planned, to where it actually seems somewhat...
You know what? The point of this is not to just sit here and to bash folks and to give our opinion, to give our points of view. The point of this is to spark something inside of most of us, is to shed light on the gray area of all these topics, because we just simply look at it as a black or white issue when it's so much more than that. It is so much more than that. And that's why we're doing this video, is we want to get that word out there. Because back in the day, when Martin Luther King wrote his speech, it was only spread through word of mouth. This video can be shared across the world by sundown.
And you guys can make your own. You guys can post it. You guys, I mean, there's so much that can happen. We, today, in this day and age, we are the worst generation alive. I hope you guys know that. And it's not our fault. All right, it's partially our fault. But we have at our fingertips a way to share our thoughts. Not just our thoughts, not just our feelings, but just information. Things that we find out. Things that we believe to be true. We have at our fingertips a chance to share something across the world. And this is kind of our little, shot at it. See what happens. There will be more, whether you like it or not. We're going to do more. And it's not that we're smart. We're just really opinionated. It's not even that we're really opinionated. We just really like the sounds of our own voices. We decided to get it on video. Because
I don't know what he's talking about. I am smart. That's the reason why we're doing this, is because we pay attention. Remember that old saying your mom always used to tell you, don't believe everything you hear?
Believe none of what you hear and only half of what you see, guys.
Mom's told me and my brothers when we were little to question everything. Except for her. But I mean, other than that, question everything. And so that's pretty much what we're doing here, is we're questioning, the motives. Does the punishment justify the crime? And it's just, please do comment. We want to hear the comments. We know some of y'all will be angry. We know you're going to be mad. It's okay, though. We still love you.
Real quick. Texas, that 15-year-old girl that got pinned down by that cop, go to YouTube, watch the whole thing. About 2.5 minutes prior to the cop actually stopping her, she beat the shit out of some old lady in front of her kid. So, also justified. Fuck that little bitch. So, just saying. And if we offend you, good, because at least you're feeling something. This world is shitty. Don't let it overtake you. Feel something, believe in something, stand for something. And let us know what that is. And we're even open to topics. Let us know.
Exactly. You guys got some ideas or something you guys want us to touch on, something we may have even missed. Let us know. Hit me up with a link. I'll have a link up on Facebook. I'll have one up on YouTube. My Facebook is Levon Simmons. It's Levon Simmons. That's with 2 M's. You hit me up there. It's the same for my YouTube page. I'll have the video up on both sites. So check it out. Share it. Get this to the folks who are one-track minded. Hopefully they can see another side to the coin. So until next time, until we see you again, I am Alpha.
I'm Omega.
We are Great Matter. Peace and love, and Time to wake up, everybody.